Okay, we're all.
All right.
All right, so we are looking at your baseline data today, sorting it, which you've already done, and we're going to talk about why you sorted them into the different piles, and then from there, we're going to talk about what we need to do in order to help these students be successful and meet the targets
Okay.
that we have already established based on
Okay.
this. Okay, so let's talk about this first pile that you have. All right, and this pile is you gave them threes. Okay, so let's talk about why these students receive threes.
So they identified that the one transformation was a rotation,
Okay.
180 degrees, but they didn't specify that it was about or around the origin.
Oh, okay.
Which is
Okay.
the point of the center of rotation.
Okay, all right. So they pretty much got
Pretty
most
much
of
got it.
everything.
They
It's
just
just that
forgot.
just one little thing
Yep.
that they pretty much left off. And you said it was about what? And it should have been a rotation. You said, right?
Yeah, rotation.
Okay.
180 degrees
So-
about or around the origin.
Okay, all right. So
was-
then that
was
definitely.
31% of the students.
Okay, all right. So that definition of rotation
Yeah.
should have been in there and what exactly it means. Okay, all right. So that's the threes, and then what about these are your twos, right? What about
So
your
the
twos?
twos, there's only 3.
Okay.
This one said that you rotate 90 degrees.
Oh, okay.
And then these two, they didn't follow the directions. They said
Okay.
2 transformations.
Okay.
So
okay.
reflect and then reflect, which
Okay.
technically does get it to the right spot, but is not one transformation.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where to put them, so I put them as a 2.
Okay. So you said they used the wrong vocabulary for it. Because you
Sort of.
said it should have been reflect.
Yeah, well, they
and-
didn't use rotation. It was supposed to
Okay.
use rotation.
Okay. All right. So they didn't use the word rotation in here.
And they also, it was, I don't know, it was more so they would get from this triangle to this triangle, but not by following the directions. This says to describe one
Okay.
transformation. They did 2 transformations.
Okay. So based on your threes, they used the word rotation, but they didn't say about 180
Yeah.
degrees around the origin. Here, these are your twos. They didn't use the word rotation either. They used a different way, which you said it would still get to it. But what is the difference between the threes and the twos? Was it the explanation? Their explanation wasn't, correct whenever it comes to
So
this.
I think we said number 3 is correct reasoning, but do not have
Okay.
all vocabulary. So they have correct reasoning,
Okay.
but it doesn't.
But no, okay,
follow
all
that
right,
up correct
gotcha.
entirely.
And then your ones.
Or no, sorry. 2 is correct reasoning and no usage of vocabulary.
Okay,
So they had correct reasoning, but they didn't use rotation because they were talking about reflection, not rotation.
okay. So they used the wrong vocabulary in
Yeah.
this one. Here, their reasoning was good. It's just that definition of rotation.
Yeah.
Here, they used the wrong vocabulary.
Yeah.
Period. Okay. All right. And then what about your ones, which it looks like we got quite a bit of these.
Yes, they just
Okay.
didn't get it. They didn't identify rotation at all. So-
Okay.
and that's where most of them were. That's
Okay.
54%.
54% of this.
Yeah.
Okay. So their reasoning was wrong.
Yep.
They just didn't get it. Period. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So based on our pals here, and then we know based on our coaching cycle what we want the students to be able to do, which is you want them to be able to explain verbally and in writing the relationships between the angles, formed by actually this right here, that's for our angles, which is what we're getting to. Our I'm sorry, looking at the wrong thing. Literacy targets. You want them to explain and justify their reasoning using
Yeah.
appropriate academic language. Yes, yes. Okay, so based on that, that's our target, being able to explain and justify their reasoning using the correct vocabulary. Now, where do we need to go from here? What do you think we need to do in order to get these students, able to use their reason correctly, as well as use the correct vocabulary?
So should I address? Well, I know for these I need to just go over the content.
Okay.
But that's not necessarily literacy related.
So, all right. So, what can you use that would be literacy related in order to go do vocabulary?
And error
Just from here on
analysis.
out. Okay, so error, you can use error analysis. What else in the curriculum, can you use? Because we said, now you said that you would use quick writes. And would use analysis of student work, which is your error analysis too. You think we can add maybe your the type 2 assessment questions in there too? Because we're looking at reasoning and using the correct vocabulary.
Yeah.
So you think you could, like today in your class, whenever they did the type 2 question. So something at the bottom, I think the last one, because I was looking at it, I think the last question, but you combined like C and D, where you said it's two ways.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
they could have, you could have used that to do some writing with.
Yeah.
So it's just making sure, you create those opportunities for the students. So we know that moving forward, we will need to get into using the error analysis, using the type 2 questions, just giving them those opportunities to write, as well as those quick writes too. Okay, all right, that sounds good. That's it for your baseline data. Now we would just need to talk about moving forward, how we're going to get to, because we said that we were going to use the type 2 page 262 and 263, so we'll look at some instructional practices of about how to get to that, so that our students can be successful with their reasoning, as well as using the correct vocabulary. All right, so that's the end of this.